this episode of the Carolina Sports Guy, we're diving into this week scrimmaging with Baltimore Ravens and the second preseason game with the Ravens. We're only going to look at the offensive end of things in this video, folks. How did they perform this week? Before we get into today's content, make sure you subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. Pound that like button, hit that bell notification to be notified of future content like this on the Panthers, Charlotte Hornets, Carolina Hurricanes, and major college sports in both North and South Carolina. Okay, folks, we're going to kind of look at this week with the Panthers. And the last time I did a video, I was on vacation here this last week at the Outer Banks in North Carolina, spending some time with my family. And I thought about recording, and I said, no, I'm going to let it build up, and I'll just get back and do some recording when I come back from vacation. But on the eve of my vacation, come to find out the Carolina Panthers trade away Greg Little, one of Marty Hurney's smart moves that he made to trade up 10 spots and give away a third-round pick. So glad Hurney's gone. And we're going to get a conditional 7th-round pick for Little. And if Little shows that he is a bust in Miami, I don't know if we'll get anything. But if he can make the team or show some progress in Miami, I guess at least we'll get some draft capital, if that. But anyway, I want to look at this offensive line, folks. Right now, until any moves are made this week when we cut down to 80, we've got 14 guys on the line. And I definitely see 10 guys who are going to probably make this roster unless we can upgrade through cuts from other teams or somebody gets injured. But I'm definitely seeing our left tackle right now being Taylor Moton. Now, it could end up being Cam Erving. But if Cam Erving can't perform up to standard, he'll probably be our backup left tackle, and Taylor Moton will move from the right side to the left. On that right side, that right tackle, I see it probably being Trent Scott to start. And they're hoping to bring along Brady Christensen to be the backup right tackle right now. And maybe he will end up being the starter. And we'll use Trent Scott sparingly to be a backup in case somebody goes down anywhere on the line. Remember, he can play anywhere but center. I think center position with Matt Paradis is pretty much, that's a given. That's what we'll have. And, Sam Tecklenberg, the backup center, second-year man from Baylor, he looked like he was probably going to be destined for the practice squad. I think he's definitely going to make this roster, folks, and be our backup center without a doubt. Now, I feel pretty confident in the right guard, John Miller. He will start, and Deontay Brown's probably going to push him this year and could probably get some significant playing time and might take the job away from him. But I feel pretty good at right guard. Now, left guard, I think we're starting out with Pat Elflein. I don't feel real good about it. He'll probably be good to start with. I don't know what we'll get out of him. But then Dennis Daley, our backup left guard, I think we can depend on him to come in and fill some valuable minutes. Now, with that being said, that's 10 individuals. I think we'll go with 11 offensive linemen this season. Who will it be? I don't think it'll be Martez Ivey. And as a matter of fact, I think his days are probably numbered here in the next day or two. By the time you see the video, he might be on the chopping block. Mike Horton, don't know if he's going to be on the roster. He's played a little comparable. I just don't know if he'll stick. Aaron Montario from Boston College. I don't know what we've got out of him. I don't see him making the roster. I've read some good reviews about him. He could be the 11th man. And we did sign a guy by the last name of Harrell through the week on the offensive line. Picking him up late, I don't know what we're going to get out of him. Signing these 4 guys, I don't feel too confident. Maybe one of them sticks. I say if we keep an 11th man, it's probably going to be the cut on some team's roster. We're going to bring in a team maybe who's overloaded at offensive line, which we definitely are not. We're really razor thin. Now, looking at the tight end position, Tommy Tremble looked very good in the preseason game. He can play fullback. He can play, special teams. But he looked really good catching the ball out of the backfield for the Panthers. I should say at tight end last night. I was really impressed with the way he moved. Colin Thompson, I don't know if he'll make this roster, but between him and Ian Thomas, do we save any money? A couple $1 million if we cut Ian Thomas. But do we cut Ian Thomas if maybe he is head and shoulders better than Colin Thompson. That's going to be an interesting battle to look at. I don't think we'll see that cut come until the last week of training camp. And of course, we know Dan Arnold is going to be probably our starting tight end without a doubt. Running back wise, CMC is going to carry the load. I just hope this offensive line doesn't let him down. The Chuba Hubbards look pretty good, but I saw him get stonewalled, and it's mainly because of the offensive line. But man, he's going to take a pounding, and our offensive line has got to improve. Now, the thing is, can Spencer Brown, the undrafted rookie out of UAB, can he push Rodney Smith or Reggie Bonnafon? I know they had Bonnafon second on the roster. I don't know if that's a smokescreen or not, because I do see Trenton Cannon making this roster, special teams, and being a backup running back. I think his kickoff return duty and being the fact you can put him in the slot, I think he's too valuable. And even though he might not be the running back that Rodney Smith or Bonnafon are, he may be the best option because of him playing special teams. But can Spencer Brown push these guys? So that's going to be a question. Or is he going to be a practice squad eligible type of guy? Now, Robby Anderson, a lot of people, I've heard things about contract extension. I've heard things about him being on a trading block. I know he looked really sharp playing that one series with Sam Darnold last night. Caught a nice pass, looked very good. He's a pro's pro. I know he kind of rested DJ Moore because he was nicked up through the scrimmages this week with Baltimore. But what can I say about Terrace Marshall Jr.? Again, with Grier playing with the twos, Terrace Marshall Jr. looks the part. He's big, he's athletic. His runs after the catch, these yards at the catch, he's making some plays. He's going to be a stud, folks. And I really like Shi Smith's ability. Not just returning kicks, but getting on the field. He's got really good hands. And this is where we're going to be really deep at. Now, David Moore, using him special teams, some as our third, fourth receiver. Yeah, he'll be okay to a point. I don't have a problem with that. But what do we do about Zylstra? Is Zylstra going to be on this roster? Omar Bayless, I haven't seen a lot out of him, but I've heard a lot of good things in training camp. And we can't really rule out C.J. Saunders, folks. I've heard so much praise about this guy from the coaching staff during these scrimmages and training camp. And the guy just has a way of separating and getting open and catching the ball. He could be someone that, man, if we don't keep him and nobody picks him up, maybe we can stash him away on this practice squad. It's going to be interesting to see. One thing about it, I've heard Federer talking about contract extensions. I've heard some people mention it could be Robby Anderson. I'm kind of hoping the big contract extension is going to DJ Moore. We got to lock him up. We don't want to get him like Taylor Moton this year, having to put a franchise tag on him. I'm hoping this can get done really soon. A couple other guys that could be on defense, we'll talk about in a different video. I also kind of want to get back, and it's Keith Kirkwood. A lot of guy that gets a high praise and coaches put him up on that roster at receiver. I'm not seeing him as much in the game, but he's kind of really looked at because he's a Matt Rule kind of guy. What are we going to do with him? Because we've got a logjam at receiver, folks. It's not like our offensive line. Now, here's my opinion, folks. Are we waiting for a backup quarterback for a team to cut or trade for? Because Sam Darnold is going to be the guy. And I know there's many people out here who are P.J. Walker fans. Well, when he played second string, I didn't see much separation from him and Will Grier against the Colts. Grier was not dealing with the elite or better receivers that P.J. Walker was. Last night, Will Grier looked impressive. Yeah, he had one pass where he had a man open and could have scored, but I've heard some people say that the receiver ran the wrong route. With some of the pressure he got, he didn't get the opportunity to throw the ball, but I believe he was 8 of 11. He did have one pass that was a little bit of an overthrow, and then he had the one pass he missed where the guy was open. But like I said, with pressure, and did the receiver run the wrong route. But other than that, folks, he was spot on his passes, and I like the way he looked. P.J. Walker did not impress me. Now, I know he was dealing with a lesser offensive line, lesser receivers, but I was not impressed with his ability. And it seems like anytime he's got a chance to run and he gets out of the pocket and goes, he holds up and then throws the ball away. Almost costing interceptions or just missing out when, go ahead and get the surefire first down or a few yards to make it third and short. He's throwing the ball away, making it third and long. I'd just say if everybody's really ready to get rid of Will Grier, when he packs the suitcase, let's cut P.J. Walker up and put him in the suitcase and get both of them out of here. I'm not saying I'm a Will Grier component or praising the guy, but I just think his play is none better than P.J. Walker. I know Walker's more praised by the coaching staff because of his past, but I think Grier's got far more upside as a quarterback. If we're going to keep both of them and let both of them battle out for who's the backup week in and week out, fine. But for me, if you don't keep both of them, one's got to go, you might as well let both of them go, because one of them hasn't outperformed the other one that much in either game. But I did find that Grier playing with the second unit was a lot better than P.J. Walker playing with the third unit. And in the first game against the Colts, Grier's performance was not that much worse. He didn't really get the opportunity to shine. But I don't know what you folks think. I know there's some P.J. Walker fans out there. I'm just not really impressed. And I just think Grier does need a better shot. And finally, I'm going to say this. I don't know what's going to happen this week, but it is time to find a replacement for Joey Sly. How Joseph Charlton, the punter, asked competition in training camp for Dragusevich, and they knew that we're going to keep Chandler, and he did stay. How the hell you don't bring in some competition for Sly? Because he looked like crap. He keeps missing field goals. We've got to do a better job of that. And folks, Baltimore's got a backup kicker. Maybe once he gets cut, maybe we need to bring him in, because this is just not going to happen. Getting in a game, then our defense has played their ass off, and this offense musters a way to win a game by a couple points, and he can't come through with a kick. This is not going to work. So what do you folks think of today's video? What did you like this week, what you saw against Baltimore? There wasn't a lot, definitely in the second half, against the team that scrimmaged out there, although the first unit looked good. Leave me some comments. I love the dialogue. Hit that bell notification and get further content on the Panthers. And please, folks, subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. And pound that like button. And we'll see you the next time on another edition.